Welcome back again to this second episode of this series that I'm running at the moment here on YouTube. And today I want us to talk about just a couple of, I think, five differences between what is the difference between a boy and a man. In the previous video, I was talking about what is a man. If you haven't watched that video, then just go back. It's the video initially that was just posted before this one. And in that video, I talked about what is a man. And now here, after listening to many people who watch my video, to the few people who've watched my video, they asked me, Chris, so now what will be the difference between a boy and a man? And I thought maybe it's something worth me looking into. And I'll say there's like five differences that I can say makes the difference between a boy and a man. Number one, I'll say a man seeks something that is beyond the physical beauty, while a boy seeks something that he can show off. What do I mean by seeking something that is beyond the physical beauty? A man can see a woman, yeah, she's good looking and everything, and of course, everyone wants to have the nicest things, but very often times, what appears to be nice on the outside might not necessarily be nice on the inside. That's why a man will just tend to look beyond that beauty and try to understand what is beyond this beauty. It's like that saying that normally goes by all that glitter is not gold. That's very, very correct because, yeah, you can look at a girl, yeah, she's all good looking, or even a car. Someone can be selling you a very, very brand new car or a latest car, maybe a 2017 model, and they're like, yeah, for this car, just give me maybe 300,000 Kenyan shillings or 400,000 Kenyan shillings, and you can have it. And you see, yes, it's a new model. It's uh, very appealing, the look of it, but does the engine of this car works? Does this car run properly? How you expect it to run? These are some of the things that a man will look at and be able to say, okay, I want to have this and I can keep this. No, a boy is the one that is going to be attracted to this, while a man will want to know, okay, why are you selling this 2017 model of a car at this cheaper price? So there must be something wrong either with the engine or something. And then a man looks beyond just the appealing. While boys on the other end, boys will be like, yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful car and I want to show off to my friends. Yes, I'm driving a 2017 model. But is this 2017 model that you're driving reliable than, let's say, maybe a 2000 model or 2005 model? And the same analysis applies when a man is selecting the woman that they want. Because when a man is selecting the woman that he wants, okay, he goes for the younger one, the most attractive one, and that younger one and most attractive one might not necessarily be the most attractive girl or lady, might not be necessarily the most attractive lady in the eyes of the public. While boys are chasing, let's say, big ass and oh, good boobs and all that, men are busy sitting down and now going to analyze, okay, what is the character of this person. And by the way, you can learn some of these things just by the way that they happen to treat uh, people who can do nothing to them. How nicely are they talking to the watchman when they are arriving at the gate? How nicely are they talking to the restaurant waiter or waitress and everything? So by you learning these small cues and the signs that they give you, then you can be able to understand, okay, this is something worth me keeping. And that's why most men will take you to a restaurant, probably ask them to delay the food a little bit or bring you the wrong order, and then they get to see how you talk to these people. If you're nice to them, then he can say, okay, fine. Even if she's pretending, she can pretend the first time, but the second time she's not going to pretend. Or she's asking for, let's say, maybe a glass of red wine, but just ask the waitress, oh yeah, show up with the white wine. Even if it was ordered by someone, just bring it up to her and see how she's going to react to you presenting something that she never ordered for. If she's going to be, excuse me, I'm sorry, I never ordered for this white wine, I asked for the red wine. Oh, I'm sorry, then they go ahead and they take that wine to someone else. Then I'm able to completely understand, oh yes, here is someone who knows that they can talk to other people nicely. So that's the first difference that I would say between a boy and a man. A boy wants something to show off to the world, while a man wants something that is beyond the beauty, beyond the normal things that are just being shown to him. Number two, for number two, I'll say a man prepares for the future, while most boys they live in the present. And this one I will tie it to what's happening in the world today. Most men are learning skills, digital skills, and these are the skills that they are going to use when it comes to the future. Am I learning digital marketing, coding, and all these things? While, what are the boys doing? Very often, boys are just living in the present. They don't want to learn anything about the future. They don't want to read, to acquire the knowledge that they might be able to use tomorrow in the world. And I would dare say, even on this, a man is busy and constantly improving his negotiation capital. Because if today I go to someone and I say, okay, I'm going to look for a job as a radio presenter, what skills do you have other than you being a radio presenter? Of course, yes. I've run a podcast. Here's my podcast. I've been running this for maybe a year, 2 years of consistently me doing this. Then whoever is employing me, they might be like, oh, this one has shown consistency in something. Well, the boys are living in the present. Give me the job, then I'll line while on the job. No one is going to give you that chance. And if they're willing to do that, okay, fair enough. They're going to give you that chance, and yeah, you could. But I think very many employers they'll be like, no, we are not going to consider this. We'll rather consider someone who's proven themselves, and that's why it's so important today in the world that a man will be able to learn one skill after another. And by the way, when you're learning this skill, one skill after another, you're just sharpening up your bargaining power. And many young people are in colleges and universities. And okay, yes, you've studied this course, but what have you done beyond this course? That's why if you're doing, let's say, media, journalism, or anything, yeah, open up a YouTube channel, it's free to do, and start exposing or start explaining things to people slowly by slowly. By the time you're going to an employer, by the way, things will change very quickly. The next maybe 5 or 10 years, your CV will be what you've been able to accomplish in the world out there. And that's the exact same thing that the employer will look at and be like, okay, fine. Your written CV, to some courses, it means nothing. But the skills that you've acquired over a certain period of time, that's going to be your bargaining power in the years to come. And that will differentiate, by the way. Boys are busy playing video games and living in the present, no learning skills, no nothing, and just hoping, yeah, when I get at 30, I'll wake up and start fixing myself. Don't get me wrong. at the age of 30 years, you can be able to fix things and attain the things that you want to go and achieve. But isn't it better if you start learning today, let's say maybe at the age of 17, 18, you who's listening to me? Because anyway, those who are 30 or 35, now they're wishing, oh, I wish I started learning when I was younger. So you who's listening to me, I'm not your motivational speaker, but I'm just telling you, you stand a better chance of learning harder things now and faster. Unlike those fellows of yours, unlike our fellows in their 30s and 40s. I'm almost approaching 30s anyway. So you and I listening here, we stand a better chance of learning things quicker. And then by the time we are 30 or 35, oh bro, we are the one that are saying things the way that they are going to happen. Number 3, the other difference between a boy and a man. I'll say a man takes full responsibility of everything that is around him, while boys are the ones sitting there and giving a list of excuses. Oh, I can't do this because my father never gave me this, my mother never gave me this, and now I'm unable to do it. While a man will be like, okay, fine, I realize I fucked up. Let's say I'm maybe 250 pounds heavy now. Once a man comes to the realization, oh shit, no one is coming to save me, then they wake up and they decide to go and say, okay, I'll fix this. It doesn't matter. It will start maybe with a walk today. Tomorrow it's a run. The other day is lifting maybe 5 kgs in the gym. And before you know it, they're getting things done. That's the exact same thing that a man gets to do. Start from nowhere and start building up slowly by slowly. And by the time you come to the realization of looking at yourself, you're like, oh shit, 3 years down the line, oh, I've achieved a lot of things. Or even 6 months down the line. Can you imagine if today, maybe let's say, you hear a boy complaining, oh, Chris, me is my genetics, my father is fat, my mother is fat, my sister is fat, and I'm unable to do this, I can't do this. Okay, you're already putting a limit on yourself, you idiot. What if you say, okay, fine, I'm going to be the very first difference in my family? It's like you subscribing because no one in my family has ever made 100,000 shillings and just have it in their bank account, or even 10,000 pounds and have it just there in their bank account. I can't be the first person. You're already putting a limit on yourself, you idiot. What are you supposed to be doing instead? Instead, what you're supposed to be doing and say, okay, fine. Yeah, I'm not doing this, but I can be able to turn around things and start doing things slowly by slowly and become exceptional in my family. Personally, I tend to give this as an example. I've come from a family where none of my siblings today, other than only my brother, my cousins and all of them, none of them has ever been physically fit the way that I am. And I said, it's a title that I'm going to maintain. If I was to say, oh yeah, they're all fat, now I subscribe to that shit. Bullshit. You today who's listening to me here, you might think you need motivation. Yes, maybe you need it. But the biggest motivation that you as a young man listening to me today can do is say, I am going to be different than the rest of my family, my cousins, my brothers and my sisters, and become physically fit. You can decide, okay, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. Regardless of where I've come from, I'll cancel the noise and stop giving excuses, because that's for boys and kids. And say, okay, I'm going to fix this shit. And you take up that responsibility and you start doing that thing right now. And that's the difference. Men, we are doers. Boys are complainers. Where do you want to belong? Do you want to belong to the category of doers? Do you want to belong to the category of complainers? That's the thin line that exists between a doer and a complainer, a boy and a man. Where do you want to belong? Choose the side of the doers. Don't complain about shit, because anyway, if it's not killing you, then it's building you. I'd rather live in pain that is building me than staying there as a complainer while I'm dying. You will rather live in pain that is building you than staying in complaining mode that is killing you. Boys, you are dying. Men are living. Number 4, a man will own up to his fuck ups and deal with it. While boys will play the blame game as always. Oh, Chris, I can't do this because, I come from a single parent household. My mama didn't tell me this. My papa didn't tell me this. Take an example, like him or hate him. Can you imagine if William Ruto was saying, I grew up without my father and now I can't go and fight the presidency. This one grew up with the father of the vice president. The other one was a... Hey, bro, you will never be able to go anywhere. If that's the mentality that you're going to have, then you'll never be able to go anywhere. While men say, okay, here I might have fucked up. I might have spoken to my brother the way I shouldn't have spoken to him. I might have talked to to that person the way I shouldn't have talked to him. But I'm like, okay, fine. That's a problem. And here I am. I own up to my mistake. And even apologize. Guys, I'm sorry. I told you I'll be posting 3 videos a week, but I'm not posting anything. I own up to my mistake. So if I make a commitment to go and do something, and then I'll be able to believe on that thing which I promised in the beginning, that this and this and this is what I promised you. I promised to do. But is that what we do? We blame this. Oh, even there's another guy I was listening to this morning, and he was like, Chris, we are in this country. This country is not ours. I live in Germany, and Germans are racist and all that shit that they were saying. I'm like, bro, someone in any country of the world, if they decided I'm not going to play the blame game and I'm going to do my part, are succeeding, and they are also being respected. A very good example is I once worked for a company in London. It's a restaurant. It's called Radisson Blue Heathrow. Anyone that has been in London, they know where this company is. Along Bath Road, on your way to the airport. Bro, I said to myself, I will outwork every single individual that will ever come here. I never signed a contract. Up to today, I've never signed a contract with any company. If I want to work for this company, yeah, is there an agency that sends their staff there and I go there? Because I know agency staffs can be easily replaced. Oh, this one is not producing, let's kick him out. I've never, up to today, there's no single company that can ever say, yeah, Chris signed a contract with us. None of them. One, I signed a contract with them and never worked for them, not even a single shift. So, when I was working for Radisson Blue Heathrow, here's the thing. I was working there I started as a waiter, I became a striker, and then I became a bartender shortly. I never liked it, so I stuck to being a waiter and a striker. For those who don't know, a striker is the people that move tables, conference tables, and all that heavy things before the waiters and the waitress come and they put their dishes on the table. I did that kind of job. And I can tell you for a fact, after working there for a year, the second year, I was there for 5 years. I never took their contract. They offered me many times the contract, and I never took them. Why didn't I take those contracts? Because I knew anyway, because if I take the contract, I might become lazy. Some days I'll wake up and I don't feel like going to work. So I just call the company and, yo, I'm not feeling well, and give my excuses, and they will take it. However, on the flip side, here's the thing. I said to myself, I will not sign this contract. And I will work so hard to prove my competitiveness to the company, so that the company will start overriding the agency that was sending me to go and work there, and they speak to me personally. I had a manager in 2015, in 2017, 2018, and 2019, before the pandemic. His name, he was a guy from, I think, Algeria. This guy liked the work that I was doing, to the point that he started talking to me. Are you willing to come in tomorrow to work? To come and deliver on the job here. Without you calling the agency, we'll just send them your money, and Chris, you'll get paid your money. Of course, that has never been a problem. They started relying on me as a person more than they relied on their people that they have on contract. I did outwork every single guy in that building. I did long hours, and not just long hours where I'm seated. Sometimes I'll be in at 6 o'clock, finish at 11 o'clock, and turn up again at 6 o'clock the following day. I think the biggest hours that I've done there was 110 hours in 1 week. You can divide that for yourself and find out how many hours was I working. That is what a man does. Boys will be like, no, Chris, you need your 8 hours of sleep and everything. And I did that because anyway, I had to pay for my school fees in college. And I didn't complain. No, shut the fuck up. You're sounding like an idiot. You're sounding like someone who doesn't understand themselves. I did that, and I've never regretted why I ever did that. Because I saw myself as a man, as a competent human being that can go ahead and do what is required of him. And here I am today. Did I die? No, I never died. Did I face any other serious big problem, health problem? No, I did not. And that's how you can make yourself exceptional, by the way. You say you're going to do something, make sure you do that thing. Even at the place where I work at the moment, I don't say that I'm the best there. But certain things that I've been able to get away with, many people cannot get away with them. There's a guy that came in there the other day, and the guy never lasted 6 hours because of his laziness. Then I start playing victim. Chris, they don't like me because I'm black, because I'm the only black working amongst them. No, prove your competence and see people respecting the shit out of you. But you want to be incompetent and be given free credit for that shit? No. Can't work like that. And I think is most black people's problem, because anyway, we had another new guy that came in the same company where I'm working at the moment. This guy could not do something. You tell him, lift this machine a little bit, put it here so that we can do A, B, C, and D, or lift this product here and put it there. The guy was struggling. I'm like, bro, what did you come to do here? This is a physical job that requires you to be a little bit strong. You don't lift maybe above 25 or 30 kgs. So if you're struggling to lift this 30 kg of a metal from here to there, the fuck are you doing? People are like, oh, Chris, you're too harsh on this person. You should have been a bit smooth. Talk to them a bit nicely. I'm like, no, I'm not your parent. So I really don't agree with with a conversation of you being a very lazy human being, you cannot own up to your fuck ups. Of course, I've also fucked up. Where have I fucked up? One of the biggest fuck ups that I have had, both when I was working in London and when I'm working where I'm working at the moment, I have really struggled with keeping time. The shift may be, let's say when I was working in London, for example. Yes, Chris, you're required to be here at 12 o'clock because, yeah, you are a waiter and lunch is starting maybe, let's say, at 12:15 or 12:20. So you need to familiarize yourself with the menu that you are serving and the number of people that will come to your menu. Here's where you find the food backup if the buffet is empty and all that shit. But who's Chris? I will come there probably 12:10, 12:15, and sometimes it's not even on purpose. But that reduced the amount of respect that people had for me. So I decided now I'll start working hard at least. Let me get there 15 minutes before the time. And that did earn me some level of respect. Then the job became too easy, and I was like, yeah, fuck this. Of course, with the disagreement with the management. And the same place where I am today, I don't claim to be the best. But when I get there, they know I can outwork every single one of those people that are working there. One day, a friend of mine at work, a colleague that we work with, was like, Chris, it doesn't matter how good you are. Listen to this. It doesn't matter how good you are. If this was in another place, you could have already been fired because, yeah, you'll show up 5 or 10 minutes late. But then I went to him and I said, look, the job that I do, tell me, how often can you find someone that will do it for 12 hours and you still ask him maybe for the second on Friday or on Saturday, the day that is not their shift, to show up to work and they still be able to come and do this? And at the moment, it's a big trouble. But I've earned my credibility anyway. And that's why maybe the boss is like, I'll keep this one. If this one can do this job for 12 hours and I ask him to come an extra day and he still be able to show up, that's how I earn my credibility. And that's what a man does. And the credibility and the capacity to deliver on the things that are required of you. Bro, you'll see many doors opening up everywhere, and anywhere is an opportunity. Like, okay, I'm supposed to go on holiday, but do you think when I go and tell my boss, yeah, I'll go on holiday around this time, he doesn't own me, but he's like, can you push it a little bit? Or can you do it maybe in this period of time? So he negotiates with me. And not to brag, by the way. When he gave me the contract, come and take this contract and start working, I was like, no, I don't sign the contract. But he kept me. If he was a guy that didn't see any value in me, he'd be like, oh, agency, you don't want my contract? Piss off. That's how easy it is. Anyway, finally, point number 5 before I get to finish this video. A man has a very strong stand on what he believes in. If you believe in dedicating yourself to do a good and an amazing job, you stand with that. And I don't need to explain this point anymore. While boys, they change they're like a flag. You see, a flag follows the direction of the wind that comes. If the wind is strong from the east to the west, they go in that direction. If it's strong from the west to the east, they go in that direction. And these boys do this even when it comes to relationships. Oh, because there's this girl that I really like, then I'm able to change the direction of where I am. No, a man doesn't do that. What is required of me as a man is to stand strong. If work has to be done, it has to be done. Did I tell my boss I'll show up to work in the morning? Bro, it doesn't matter. Unless a nuclear weapon has fallen on my bed, that's the only time that I'm not going to show up. And I think he earned me a bit of credibility when where I am at the moment, because my boss knows I'll rather show up at 7:30 or even 2 hours late at work than me missing work. Is that the case for you all gentlemen out here? Stand firm. And I don't want to add anything more than that, but that's the difference between being a boy and being a man. And with everything I've said there, then I think I do consider myself as a very good and a very responsible man, because my record seems to have spoken for itself. Anyway, you all don't forget to do the necessary. Give me one of these and tell them, yeah, Uncle Chris, now I've decided to become a man. And finally, don't forget to subscribe there. Let's hit 3,000 followers, 3,000 subscribers, because anyway, this channel is yours. You and I are here because you are getting something from me. I am. Just give me your numbers and give me that view. It does go a very long way with this thing that we are trying to build here. And also, it teaches me to be patient, because you might not subscribe in this video, you'll subscribe in the next. And over time, yeah, we'll be here. And make men great again. That should probably be my slogan. See you all.